Africa is a home of hospitality.
Beautiful.
Powerful.
The oldest ground in earth.
It's, traditions, it's culture, it's morals, it's values. That's what Africa is.
Montgomery County is home to over 54,000 Africans, which makes up 15% of the overall immigrant population in the county. In parallel with the rising number of Africans residing in the county, there's a significant number of African-owned businesses highly contributing to the county's economy and that of our nation. Most of these businesses were brought to a halt during the pandemic, the hospitality, entertainment, and non-essential sectors being the hardest hit. So this African Heritage Month, we celebrate those businesses and the faces behind them, not only to recognize their heritage, but also their resiliency. For many, dancing is a hobby, but for ASANTE KONTE, dancing is more than that, serving as an educational tool to educate the world about Africa.
I'm an educator. That's the way I look at it, because what I do is bringing back the history and the culture through the art to the dance floor and to the history, because the dancing is including history. Everything we do is look like a musical theater. It tells history about our people in Africa. It's a passion and something, it's a gift.
His career as a professional dancer began at age 15 in Senegal. After spending a decade dancing in different parts of Africa, he came to the United States to pursue a career as an independent performer. He then worked with numerous organizations around the country as a musical arranger and guest choreographer before he settled in Montgomery County. ASANE left Africa with the dream of establishing his own dance company in the United States, and in 1983, he did just that. Along with his childhood friend, he founded the Kankuran West African Dance Company in Takoma Park, where he continues to serve as the artistic director, choreographer, and costume designer. At age 70, he has no plans of slowing down and has even bigger plans for the future.
I wanted to have a school with the curriculum with dance, African. They don't have it in the United States, and that's my vision.
Meet Ana Molaho, poet, comedian, singer-songwriter,
what do you expect?
and actress.
Like you're going to war.
Born and raised in Kenya, Ana started performing when she was only 7 years old.
It wasn't that somebody took me to a place and I was fell in love with it. It was just the music I had. I created my own songs.
After receiving praise and support from her community for her performances, she joined a theater company that ended up opening doors she'd never imagined.
So I won. I was the best actress in all the universities in Kenya. And I was so excited. And they said, those who won will go to the US for 1 week for an arts workshop.
At the arts workshop, Ana realized that there would be more opportunities in the United States for her to grow as a performer, so she decided to stay. She would then learn that she would have to take a non-traditional route to succeed.
There was always typecasting, oh, you have an accent, so we're going to give you this little part of an immigrant here and there. And I said, no, I have to do something that speaks to me, that will be educative, that will be entertaining, that will create an awareness of diversity, and just performing my spoken word pieces at different cafes instead of looking for auditions.
From there, Ana established her own production company and band. In the following years, her triple threat talent took off, making her one of the most sought-after African comedian, poet, and spoken word Afrobeat artist, including being the main performer during the inaugural events of former President Barack Obama, among others. Out of all the places she's performed, Ana says that performing in Montgomery County holds a special place in her heart.
In Montgomery County, I receive a lot of love. I see that it's diverse.
Still believe in Africa, and I'm proud to be an African.
When she received a sewing machine as a gift from her husband, Abigail ASANTE never once thought it would one day become her life and lead to a successful full-time business. A hobby turned into a business is how she describes it.
I started making like a pillowcase, and I realized that I loved just putting things together. It turned into a business.
A few years later, she quit her 20-year babysitting job to pursue her business full-time from her basement. And in 2016, Abigail opened her own shop in Silver Spring. Although she's called Montgomery County her home for the last 40 years, Abigail loves and embraces her Ghanaian heritage.
I mean, I love American culture, but I also appreciate my African culture. I take the good from here, and I put it together. It makes a beautiful thing.
During the pandemic, Abigail had completely closed the doors of her vibrant store.
We cater to occasions, so if you have nowhere to go, you don't make clothes. So we were hit very hard.
She said that she's grateful for the financial assistance she's received from the county to keep her business alive. And she's happy to see previous and new customers coming back. Hailing from Nigeria, AUGUSTA ANYANWU always had a knack for the arts. She moved to the United States in 1983 to pursue a bachelor's degree in business administration at Texas College. Her love for the arts never left her, so after graduation, AUGUSTA participated in different competitions and training related to event decor, to which she credits the culture that raised her.
I came from a very rich African culture, and our culture is such that, encourages us to be whom we are created to be. And that's the heritage that built me up and gave me the strength.
A few years later, in 2007, with the push of a friend, she made the move to Montgomery County. The same year, she decided to put the event decor training she took to use and launch her event and decor company, Touch of Elegance.
I've always shoot for perfection, for elegance, and that's how the name came.
Because gatherings were not allowed during the pandemic, AUGUSTA's event contracts were either canceled or moved to the following year, forcing her business to completely close its doors for 15 months. AUGUSTA is happy to be back at her happy place, creating her clients' dream events. HAWAIDA HASSANEIN has always been one to think and plan ahead. Born and raised in Montgomery County to Egyptian parents who settled in Olney, Maryland in 1974, she grew up with the Northern African culture ingrained in her. Where she comes from, traditionally, the women are expected to stay home to care for their children while the men work. That's why when it came time to go to college, she created her own program and pursued a bachelor's degree in international daycare management and a minor in early childhood education at the University of Maryland, with the idea that she would one day be able to open and run a childcare center while raising her kids there.
I wanted to find a way to get these women out of their homes, but still be in an environment where they could bring their children.
While operating the childcare center, HAWAIDA saw a need.
I couldn't find teachers that were qualified, but I found a lot of good-hearted people. They just needed to be trained, and so I opened H&H Childcare Training so that I could reach out to those people and get them trained and qualified and get them working in the childcare centers. The best part about working in Montgomery County is the opportunities that I'm able to incorporate my culture, my traditions into my livelihoods.
HAWAIDA hopes to reach and help more women feel empowered and financially independent while maintaining the root of their cultures. It all started on the streets of Togo. Little did ABIGAIL know that the sport he played for fun with his friends would turn into a successful career and even help shape thousands of young people one day.
It teach me a life skills. Let me be who I am today, know what is good, what is the bad. I was so serious about it.
That dedication took him places. He joined the Togo national team and represented his country in the 1986 World Cup, before moving to France in 1989 to play professionally there. After nearly 20 years playing soccer professionally, ABIGAIL, now commonly known as Coach Fofo, thought of giving back and introducing the youth to a sport that had changed his life. In 2000, he moved to Montgomery County after a friend invited him to manage a youth soccer training program. He then realized that those who couldn't afford to pay for training were left behind, and he found a way to reach them.
We go to the park and I get on kids together. Hey, you want to play soccer? And then parents start seeing me say, oh, this guy is a great coach. And then they start bringing me more kids. That's where everything started.
That effort led to the birth of the Elite Soccer Youth Development Academy, a community program that was created to offer the youth an outlet through recreational and competitive soccer programs.
Let's go, move the ball, come on!
During the pandemic, when he could no longer train his students in person, Coach Fofo took his coaching to Zoom and had his young players convert their living rooms into a soccer field. And for those who didn't have a soccer ball,
I went to their house, put my mask and dropped ball for each house. The pandemic touched everybody.
But he wasn't going to let it take soccer away from them. Coach Fofo hopes to keep impacting more young lives with the beautiful sport of soccer. Omar Kwate never thought his grilling skills would lead him to being a restaurant owner one day. The passion for cooking and entrepreneurship was ingrained in him and his younger sister Aja from an early age as they watched their mother build a successful catering business from the ground up after moving to the United States from Senegal in 2002. She then went on to open an African food store in Langley Park, where Omar's grilling skills found a place to flourish.
I would just step outside lunchtime to make some food for the workers and myself. I mean, of course, for us to have lunch, and people was trying to buy it.
With several customers often approaching him about buying what he was cooking, the entrepreneurial spirit he grew up with kicked in, and with the help of his sister Aja, they introduced Senegalese food to the community at local festivals and other events where they received positive feedback.
It's a great combination to be, and fortunate to be able to work, along my sister and my family, and it's a blessing.
The duo had always wanted to open a restaurant in Montgomery County, as it was where they grew up and considered to be their second home after Senegal. Last September, during the pandemic, they opened a second location in downtown Silver Spring.
It was tough. It's a challenge, just like opening any business, especially in the pandemic, which was a little harder than usual. Because we were already known in the area, people were excited that we opened, and we were excited. Opening in Silver Spring, a restaurant in Silver Spring, was always our dream, like all of us. So when the opportunity presented itself, we literally just jumped on it.
Thanks to takeout orders from their loyal customers and financial assistance program from their county, they were able to survive the pandemic. Omar and Aja have plans to keep growing and introducing their Senegalese menu to an even larger crowd. Councilmember Will Juando and his council colleagues have put forth legislative measures and provided financial assistance to support local small businesses, which Councilmember Juando says are the backbone of our local economy.
We have the largest African immigrant population in the country here in the DC, Maryland, and Virginia area, and a large concentration of those are in Montgomery County. So they really are a vital part of our economy, and we know coming out of the pandemic, we're hit particularly hard.
To help them bounce back, Councilmember Juando has been visiting and highlighting different African and other businesses every week in his Our Community, Our Businesses series.
It just underscores that we have such a diverse tapestry here, and certainly the African immigrant community is just as a big part of that as any other community.
Montgomery County is the first in the nation to proclaim the month of September as African Heritage Month. And for Councilmember Juando,
Mr. William Opeyemi Juando.
This has a very special meaning, as he is the first African member to serve on the council, coming from a Nigerian background, which he proudly showed at his inauguration.
We were the first in the country and have started a trend of this all around the nation, where cities and municipalities are celebrating African Heritage Month in September. And so to be the first, it's just really a testament to how great Montgomery County is. We value the great tapestry here, we value our diversity, and the contributions that so many communities make to making us a great place.
As the famous African proverb goes, the best preparation for tomorrow is to make sure today's work is superbly done. By emphasizing this very point, we will recognize the all-rounded effort many visionary Africans exert by making a difference in their respective trades and supporting their families and communities. Happy African Heritage Month.